So we had another question about marijuana use and is it okay? And in that thread, people were discussing, and a lot of the sentiment is that it depends on the intent, which is something I've said myself. And then someone went on to say that that goes with everything. Depends with the intent, like everything. Alcohol, mushrooms, anything. And this is not an uncommon viewpoint either. For certain people that feel drug use is fine, they will say that it simply depends how you use them and what you intend to use them for. The only problem with this, from my perspective, is that this negates the intention, the intelligence, the consciousness, and the power of the plant and fungal intelligences that we are communicating with, because that's how I see taking a substance. And it has in fact been my experience that not all plant and fungal, and not all non-human consciousness, and not all human consciousness are beneficial, positive for the human experience and growth. Not everything is human friendly. Not everything in the universe is here for us. Not everything here on the world is here for human use, as the Bible implies. There is many other kingdoms here. There are many other lives here. There are all other kinds of intelligence here. Most of them humans don't even know about or recognize. So just because a plant is here, does not actually mean it was put here for humans to use. Although that is true for a good bit of them. The human experience was very central to the designing of this world, and the intention of the devas who designed these plants and these funguses. So yes, they were largely designed for our use, but not wholly. And just because they were designed for our use does not mean they were designed to be ingested. And even if they were meant to be possibly ingested, or even if this was one possible use, it does not mean that it is any way similar to what humans have taken and made it into. Understand, chemistry is alchemy. What is the difference between alchemy and chemistry? Well, I'll tell you from the modern science perspective, it is the belief that alchemy, which is the base of chemistry came out of alchemy. It is the belief that chemistry is the modern, that alchemy was superstition and a bunch of nonsense mainly, and that all the good parts of alchemy were taken and distilled into the pure science of chemistry. This is not exactly true. There is some truth to this, maybe, but it is not exactly true. Because in fact, alchemy as it was really designed to be, is a spiritual science. Yes, there were many alchemists literally trying to turn lead into gold, literally trying to make physical, and they became the chemist. Understand, they are the fathers of the chemist. Those alchemists who lost their way are the fathers of modern chemistry. Lost their way because alchemy was meant to be a spiritual science of turning the darkened material, the darkened coal aspect of the soul into the pure gold and eventually the philosopher's stone. It is spiritual transformation that they were referring to. This is quite clear if you just read ancient alchemical text. Now, if you read alchemical text from the Dark Ages, yeah, you'll get a different story. And there you find the fathers of chemistry, those who only cared about the material aspects, those who only cared about manipulation instead of transformation. Those who only wanted to rearrange. And so, many of the modern drugs that are created through the miracles of chemistry are in fact negative creations to human life, growth, evolution. For example, cocaine, the coca leaves, taken in a very, very small amount, can provide definite benefit. They can bring euphoria, joy, energy, a boost if used moderately at the right times or in certain ceremonies. And I'm sure there are many other uses for the coca plant. All sorts of beneficial uses that it was designed for, you know. And it has uses, remember, within the animal and plant kingdoms themselves, and with the other forms of higher intelligence that humans are not aware of. These things all have their own purpose and place in other dimensions even. But taking processed, purified coca leaves that we call cocaine is in no way ever conducive to human health. In fact, the spirit of that substance is not the same as the spirit of the coca leaf. It is not the same as the spirit or the intelligence of the coca plant. But in fact, it does have its own intelligence. And anyone who's done cocaine knows it. Knows it. You tell me this, how come people don't smoke a bunch of crack and go feed the poor and go build a nursery for children? No. They smoke a bunch of crack and they kill people, they rob people, they rape people, or they just act like general pieces of crap. Why is that? Why is the spirit that possesses them always negative? Why is the spirit they are communicating with always negative? Because they're only looking at chemistry instead of spirit in the first place. This is the difference between shamanism and being a drug addict. So, to take a mushroom shamanically is to view it as a living organism first. So you take it and you communicate with it. You feel it, you speak to it, it speaks to you, you learn it. You start to understand what it is trying to show you, what it is trying to teach you. Well, if you take every plant in that way, some of them will not send you lovely, friendly messages, and maybe don't take them. This is how our ancestors learned what is good for use and what is poison. Alcohol is not conducive to human growth and evolution. Not to say there was never any good purpose or benefit to it in very, very small amounts. But as a substance, it is highly toxic, and as a consciousness, it is highly possessive of human will and hearts. So it is part, or it is plugged in to the artificial intelligence matrix, just like cocaine is, just like heroin is. There are so many spirits, there is so much negative energy connected to those substances, to those energies, because that's what they really are, energies. Love and light. And here's some cats. The intelligence of marijuana, though, if communicated with shamanically, can provide much spiritual insight and wisdom. But that's to use it occasionally as a way of learning and growth. It is not the same as using it daily. Used daily, it will probably be a handicap. Not a severe one, though. Like, Honestly, for most people that smoke marijuana, they probably have 1,000 other bad habits that could be addressed first or at the same time. You know, it's not any more severe to someone's path for most people than overeating or watching too much television. All of these things have negative effects on the spiritual path and on the evolution of humans.